you understand that you are charged in this indictment with count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges?
Yes.
And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your lawyer, your attorney Gladden, about all the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charge in this indictment?
Yes.
Have you also been able to speak with her about any potential defenses?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to discuss this matter with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with her counsel and representation?
Yes.
Do you waive formal reading of the indictment?
Excuse me?
So waived.
Yes. I asked if you and your attorney waive formal reading of the indictment.
That means they don't want to read the charges.
If not, I got to read the indictment.
Oh.
So waived.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Do you waive any and all defects, if any, with respect to the indictment?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens, have you been arrested on these charges?
You've been arrested on these charges.
Yes.
Okay. Has your attorney advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence for the charge in which you are pleading to?
Yes.
Do you understand that as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, that it carries a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 20 years in custody?
Yes.
Do you understand this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court a sentence that I will read, but the court does not have to accept this recommendation, and that the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge?
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that this plea, the state's offer on this plea is, as to count 1, 10 years to serve 2 years, commuted to time served with a balance of 8 years on probation? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand there are certain special conditions as it relates to this negotiation?
Yes.
For 1, you shall abide in full by each and all of the terms of this negotiated agreement, and your failure to abide by any of the terms of the agreement shall constitute a violation of this agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that you shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which you are questioned at any trial or judicial proceeding stemming from the facts alleged in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you understand that in accordance with testifying truthfully about all matters related to this case, you acknowledge that each and all the statements contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgments portion of this agreement are true, and that you will testify truthfully about those statements and any matters related to this case when asked to do so?
Yes.
And that you will relinquish any Fifth Amendment right related to any statement contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgments contained within this plea agreement, and you will make no attempt at trial to assert a Fifth Amendment privilege when questioned on these matters. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that some of the factual acknowledgments that you acknowledged is 1, that Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. Is that one of your acknowledgments?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge that you were one of the founding members of Young Slime Life?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge that you committed an aggravated assault as alleged in count 1 of this indictment by brandishing a gun at an undercover police officer that was surveilling a vehicle that was hijacked from a woman?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that in October of 2014, you were arrested with a red bandana and you were observed with a YSL tattoo and a Cleveland Avenue Rock Crew tattoo, amongst other tattoos?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge in that same incident, when you were asked by law enforcement about your Rock Crew and your YSL tattoos, that you truthfully advised law enforcement that you were a member of a gang called Rock Crew, but that group is no longer going by that name and now goes by YSL, which originally stood for Young Slime Life?
Yes.
Did you also, in that same conversation, advise law enforcement that YSL originally stood for Young Slime Life, but the group began calling itself Young Successful Lifestyle after Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, signed a record deal?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge that the statements made to police about Rock Crew and YSL, as reflected in sections 3 and 4 above, which I just mentioned, are true and accurate?
Yes.
You acknowledge that you've been accused of and arrested for robbing women?
Yes.
You also acknowledge that on February 4th, 2021, you participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associates Wooney Lee, aka Slime Life Shorty, wherein Jeffrey Williams stated, "YSL rule the world, kid. Y'all just start bringing me the money. Man, y'all stop playing with me." Do you acknowledge that?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that on May 13, 2021, you participated in another group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associates Martinez Arnold, Miles Farley, Quantavious Greer, Antonio Sumlin, Wooney Lee, wherein Jeffrey Williams asked, "Y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet?" Then states, "Y'all getting soft."
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that the gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs?
Yes.
That also the gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs?
Yes.
And also, do you acknowledge that you cannot truthfully assert that anyone charged in this indictment is not guilty of the crimes as alleged in this indictment, and you will not make any attempt at trial, prior to trial, or after trial to exonerate or exculpate anyone charged in this indictment of the crimes alleged in this indictment, nor will you claim that anyone on this indictment is not guilty of the crimes as charged in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge that if you violate the plea agreement, the district attorney can and will use his statement during any judicial proceeding?
Yes.
You also understand and acknowledge that if you violate any portion of this plea agreement before, during, or after the initial trial of this case, you are subject to having the entirety of your sentence revoked.
Yes.
And you could be sentenced to prison.
Yes.
Do you also understand if you violate any terms of this plea agreement, it will result in your sentence being revoked, and the district attorney will recommend that you serve up to the maximum sentence allowed by law in the Georgia Department of Corrections?
Yes.
Do you also understand fully that prior to the conclusion of the initial trial of this case, that you fail or refuse to testify to any fact that you now acknowledge in this plea agreement, such failure or refusal constitutes a violation of this plea agreement, and you'll be subject to being sentenced to serve the remainder of your sentence confined within the Georgia Department of Corrections?
Yes.
Do you
For your plea, I'm going to accept your plea as tendered and as negotiated. To count one, conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, the court will sentence you to 10 years to serve 2 years. I'll commute that to the time you already served, with a balance of 8 years on probation, subject to the special conditions that have already been set forth on the record. I'll go through those with you right now, but is that your understanding as to the base sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you shall abide by each and every condition of the negotiated agreement.
Yo, what it is, people, we is back. Never down, keep it G News. And there, y'all, remember yesterday I did a video on YSL Tick, right? And I told y'all normally I try to stay away from, doing repeated videos on the same person. You might get one or two. Well, this video is number 2. And the reason why this video is number 2 is because I got all the details now. Yesterday I was ripping and running. Even though it was a great video, and what I said in the video needed to be said, but today I got a different angle. A totally different angle, because I see what's going on now with YSL Tick and this whole Young Thug and this testifying thing. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But before I get to that, do y'all remember the basketball player, Javaris Crittenton?
Former NBA player Javaris Crittenton was arrested in Southern California. Crittenton faces a murder charge for a deadly shooting in Atlanta. The FBI took him into custody after he had checked in for a flight to return there from John Wayne Airport in Orange County. Authorities issued a warrant for Crittenton's arrest in the August 19th shooting of 22-year-old Julian Jones, the mother of 4 young children.
We believe that Ms. Jones was walking down the street with another individual, and at some point Mr. Crittenton pulled up, and we believe that he discharged his weapon outside of a black Chevy Tahoe, striking Ms. Jones in the leg.
Police have said the motive appears to be retaliation for a robbery in April in which the former Georgia Tech player was a victim.
A lot of people might not remember him. I remember him because I'm from Baltimore, and he played for the Wizards, and the Wizards stole our team. They used to be the Baltimore Bullets. So at this time, I was keeping an eye out on whatever the Wizards did. I still felt like, that was our team. And I remember this situation happened. I'm like, dang, Shorty, he never was like top tier. But he got in the game. He put up a few points. You know, he was a baller. He was a ball player. But he ended up going to jail for murdering somebody. Actually caught 23 years for this murder. Now, the reason he is relevant in all this is important is because, come to find out, YSL Tick and Javaris Crittenton got a history together. And the history involves violence. So, when Crittenton did what he did it in retaliation for a robbery that supposed to happen to him by the hands of YSL Tick. And I want y'all to listen to what Gilbert Arenas had to say, you know, through third party about YSL Tick.
You know, he was like, the guy used the girl as a shield.
So the reason all this is important, y'all, because I need y'all to understand who we dealing with before I go into these next clips. You know, because I told y'all on numerous occasions, a lot of times, snitching is a selfish act. The same person that'll hold somebody as a shield, like a woman, he ain't the only person online that did this, y'all. It's another guy online right now buzzing that did something similar. Held the woman as a shield. Now, in that guy case, the girl was still alive, to my knowledge. But in this case, the woman died. And the guy that held this woman as a shield was Tick. And now Tick is on the stand testifying. So, y'all heard in the beginning what his testimony was and what are the things that he was supposed to hold up, you know, his side of the bargain that he was supposed to hold up when he went to court. And I want to hear from y'all, based off what you're saying in the first beginning clips, did YSL Tick hold up his end of the bargain?
That's a good question. So, the S is for slug, the L is for love, the I is for I, the M is for me, and the E for everything.
Is that what you call Mr. Williams, Jeffrey Williams?
That's his name.
I understand. What do you call him?
Call him my brother.
What else?
Bruh.
What else?
Old. I don't know. I don't feel like I call him Young Thug. That's for like people don't know him. I call him bruh or my brother. That's how I refer to him. Bruh or my brother.
Ever call him sign?
I call him bruh or my brother.
Hand signs used to proclaim sex, money, murder.
Yes.
Are you able to perform or to demonstrate any of these hand signs without the use of somebody else's hands?
Yes.
Would you please show the jury one hand sign signifying sex, money, murder? What does that mean?
Blood.
Okay. And what are you describing for the court reporter's sake? Describe how you just hurled your fingers.
Dang. I made a circle out my pointing finger and my thumb, and I made another circle about my middle finger.
And are you familiar with any other signs that signify sex, money, murder?
Yes.
Would you describe it before you show it? What other signs are you familiar with?
What I described before I show it. A smaller circle.
What else? It
doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term that you, yes, I'm aware.
What is the meaning of the term? What's the definition?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term.
How are you aware of the term?
I've heard the term.
How do you understand the term?
I'm not aware of the term to be used. Yeah, indicating that a person is a law enforcement.
So are you able to use snitching in a sentence?
I heard someone is a snitch.
What does
I mean, are you gonna like tell them to stop, or like, is there a certain amount of people you need to name or
Would
anything?
you please just name some of them?
Just some of them?
So just name some people. All the ones you remember who were members of Rock.
Everyone?
Mr. Stevens. Would you please name the members of Rock Crew who were members while you were a member?
I probably wouldn't even be able to.
Red star in the middle of that
Yeah, I got them in there.
now? Okay. And what is the L made of? Is that a gun that the L is made of?
Yes,
Okay. And you wanted to explain something.
yes.
Go ahead.
So, it's abbreviated for BFL. So I got the money bag first, so it stands for bank first and last. Basically, put your money first and last.
And it does not stand for blood for life.
No. That's why the money bag, I actually got that's why the money bag right there.
Okay. Why is that red star there?
I wanted to add some color to it, and red is the only color that my body will take because of my dark skin.
Okay.
The gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs.
Are your initials next to number 13?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials next to them?
No.
Members of YSL in the car with you?
Yes.
Who's in the car with you?
Shannon Jackson and I think D.
Tell me who D is. Tell the jury who D is.
You want me to tell his name? Like, I know D.
I do.
I know D.
Do you know his name?
I don't want to like get it mistaken or nothing. I'm gonna
Tell the
get
jury, to the best of your recollection, who D is.
his name is Demikian.
Demetrius Darlington?
Yes.
Was he also known as 30 D?
Yes, I guess so.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Now, did you know at the time who 30 D was?
Did I know who 30 Deep was?
Yes, sir. Would you explain to the jury the difference or the distinction between Jeffrey Williams' record label and the gang Young Slime Life?
Positivity and negativity. Positivity and negativity. The label that Jeffrey Williams created was based on positivity, and the gang was negative.
The distinction between Young Slime Life, the gang, and the record label Jeffrey Williams built.
Yes.
And do you recall answering for the jury that the record label was positivity and that the gang was negative?
Yes.
And is Young Slime Life, the gang, the entity, the thing that you were one of the founding members of?
I was founding of the music.
You were a founding member of the...
So I committed crimes while being a part of YSL.
So 30 Deep is a group of people.
Yeah.
It's a gang?
I don't know.
But Demetrius Darlington was 30 Deep.
Yes.
Was Demetrius Darlington 30 Deep?
That was his Instagram handle. Yes.
How often would you say that you associated with Demetrius Darlington?
Rarely.
How often?
Rarely, I'm sorry. Rarely.
How often did you associate with Jeffrey Williams?
Often. A lot.
Did you also associate with Walter Murphy?
Often.
How often did you associate with Shannon Stillwell?
Often. I mean, are you gonna like tell them to stop, or like, is there a certain amount of people you need to name or anything?
Could you please just name some of them?
Just some of them.
Just name some people. All the ones you remember who were members of Rock.
Everyone.
Mr. Stevens, would you please name the members of Rock Crew who were members while you were a member?
I probably wouldn't even be able.
So what's going on right now, y'all, and I didn't notice this yesterday, is YSL Tick is trying to fulfill his obligations as a snitch, but at the same time, he trying to, like, you know, tap dance around what's going on. So he ain't trying to really hurt Thug, but you understand, you already hurting Thug. That's why it's important, y'all, when you got co-defendants, when you take these deals, it gotta be known universal. Because, alright, some people say, you know, he trying to help Thug, but if YSL Tick never took this deal, he'd have never been put in this situation that he's in now, because he's in this tight situation. You see how he tap dancing around questions, and, you know, he walking a tightrope, and he ready to fall. And this is one of the worst things that you can do on a witness stand, is play with them people. These people are well aware what's going on. Like, I know it's funny, I know it's comical, I laughed at it. But I'm talking about on a real aspect of things and what's really going on. YSL Tick is ready to dance himself right to prison. I'm going to keep it all the way real with y'all, because I don't think he really understands the type of pressure that he's under right now. I mean, he probably do, you know, because if you listen to him talk, he's stuttering a little bit. He looks like a deer in headlights a lot of times. But for him to get up on this stand after he took that deal, knowing what he took the deal for, you know, he knew that was part of his obligation that he had to fulfill, was to testify on these guys. And for him to get up on the stand and now try to backtrack and say, YSL stand for this and this tattoo stand for that, when these people know what's really going on, he's going to end up dancing to prison. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That's what's ready to happen to YSL Tick. I would be surprised if YSL Tick is still on the stand come Monday. He's going to perjure himself. I think they call it prejudice himself. Don't hold me to that. But he's definitely going to perjure himself because he took this deal and he admitted to everything. Now, they are trying to throw some little low-ball questions in there that wasn't part of this deal. He's doing a great job of sidestepping it, so he actually not slow as I thought he was. I just hope, for their sake, for YSL's sake, for Tick's sake, that he know what he doing. Hope he had some sort of coaching. I'm sure he did, even though that's illegal. You know, you ain't heard that from me. But I want to know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Do y'all think that this is going to work? Now, some people might not consider him a snitch. I do. He became a snitch once he signed his name on that dotted line. Now, YSL Tick is facing 8 years in prison if he don't fulfill his obligation. And if he don't, he's going to get that 8 years in prison. I promise you. And I've been through a situation like this with one of my co-defendants, y'all, where I told him not to take the deal. You know, I always got a story. And he took the deal anyway. Now it's a big fuss between our fans because me and my other co-defendant, we trying to go to trial. We ain't trying to take no deals, but he done already copped out. Now he got to take the stand. And it's like, yo, he's saying he ain't going to take the stand, but at the end of the day, you got to take the stand, bro, because if you don't, we facing life in prison. And at the end of the day, we still family, still got love for you, so we don't want to see you in that situation. So what we had to do? We all had to take the deal. But this is what happened when you playing the game and you not playing it how it's supposed to go. They was all supposed to sit back, wait it out, see what happened, and if one go, we all go. The trial or the prison, however you want to look at it. But it shouldn't have been a situation where it was 25 of these boys or 24 of these boys to start, and it's only 6 on trial. The state's attorney should have known something like this was going to happen. You know, they thought they were slick by handing out these deals, and it looked like to me, at least for now, that YSL was trying to be one step ahead. But at the end of the day, you signed your name on that dotted line. Tick knew what he was getting himself into. All the rest of them guys knew what they were getting themselves into. I don't know why they thought they was going to be able to come to court and play with these people and get away with it. And YSL Tick might be the example that need to be set for the rest of them. Like, we're not going to tolerate this. You said YSL was a gang. Now you saying they ain't a gang. Then you saying you was a part of creating YSL. And it was strategic. You know, he didn't really get to direct when it's questioning. When it came down to, is YSL a gang? Yeah, they're a gang. Or, yeah, I was a founder of YSL. But not the street side. I'm talking about the label, even though them people know he lying. But I want to see how this play out. I'm definitely going to be watching on Monday. And I mess around live stream so we can watch it together. Because I want to see what happened with this situation, yo. But from what I see now and how I think, he doing a good job dancing around the questions and trying to stay within the lines of his plea deal. At the end of the day, it still can hurt Thug, because if they impeach him, or if they take him off the stand and charge him for perjury, they still going to use them statements. Them statements are still going to be allowed because he agreed upon it. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. This is another day of Keep It G News. Make sure you subscribe. Become a member of the channel, please. You feel me? That's how you really support the channel. I say it all the time.
Nigga can't do what I do, y'all niggas can't copy me. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep the shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G.